most companies won't survive. It's been the biggest turnaround, they say, in American business history. Financial Times says it's the biggest turnaround in all of business history. And we did it primarily in a number of different ways. Now, the core of what we do is material science and imaging science. We have 25,000 patents in this area. One of the top 20 companies in the world with the number of patents that we have. I like to joke that it's so frickin' cold up in Rochester that we have nothing better to do but sit inside and invent stuff. Okay, that's what they do. We have some really smart people, and it's very cold. We used to go and we make basically things from dirt. We go and we grow our own cattle. We take the cattle and we slaughter them. We take the bones, melt them down, and we make gelatin from it. And then we'd squeeze that through these little tubes and drop it down in tiny little droplets and build up in 21 layers till we got that thin little layer of film. And we used to do it in the dark. I mean, that's what we did. And that's where we come from. So at the core of what we do is this material science and imaging science. And I joke about these other cameras, but almost every camera in the world, almost every picture you take, no matter where it is using some part of Kodak technology inside. But I bet you didn't know that. So for us, it was part of a brand transformation about bringing the company forward, saying this is what we're going to do and where we're going to head. And I'm going to talk to you about what we're going to do and how we message that. You can imagine when I first joined the company as Chief Marketing Officer, I was so proud. I mean, I showed up like a week early. I mean, I got on the plane before the urine test or anything like that. I said, I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to get there early because I could not wait to get there. And I'm sitting on the plane next to this like 25-year-old gal, and I'm engaging in conversation because I want her to ask me what I do because I'm really excited. And so she's going on and on talking about herself like, I want to hear any of that, you know, blah, 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 blah. And so finally she takes a break and says, well, what do you do? And I go, oh, well, I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Eastman Kodak. And she said, who's that? It's a true story. So I knew that the job was going to be fairly big, and at the same time I'd be coming to conventions and meetings like this with AMA, and people would be punching me in the shoulder and saying, good luck, you know. It was not going to be an easy kind of thing to do. Because it was saying, like, you know, we want to be a cool company, but we dress like Elmer Fudd for a long, long time. So how do you make the breakthrough? Well, you want to bring some of the old into the new when you do that. Now, think about it in terms of a brand. Think about the Kodak brand itself. We had the highest trust factor of any company in the world. I mean, we had the only product that people will run back into a burning building to save. That's at the core of who we are. Now, I know that to be true because back in 2001, I was struck by lightning in my home. I was inside my house. Lightning came through. I mean, I ticked somebody off. It came through the house, hit me. I'm out. Can't see, can't hear. I finally wake up. I see white lights. That's it. As I wake up, there's my wife running by with a box of photos going, are you okay? Okay? It was right then I decided to make a career move and look for Kodak as quick as possible, right? Well, so we want to make the transition, but you got to start to do things differently in order to make the transition. It says, as a marketing officer and in the marketing department, and you, as our partners, you got to start to say, we're going to stand for something. We're not going to just make products. We're going to make cool products. We're going to do cool things with them. We're going to do some fun stuff. In fact, we make a printer that's about the size of this stage, from way over there to way over here, and about this tall, and it's about $4 million. And it's called the Prosper Press, our stream technology. It's an inkjet press, and we do 4,000 pages per minute, variable text, fully customizable, everything. Basically, sheets of paper go in one side, or excuse me, trees go in one side, and sheets of paper go out the other side. I mean, that's what, I blew that frickin' line. God, I hate when I do that. I get so excited. I've had like 3 Diet Mountain Dews, can you tell? Okay, well, it's not easy to find them up here either. To fly them in. All right, now. And it's the highest quality inkjet machine in the world. I mean, it's offset class. It's offset class. I mean, who makes an inkjet machine that's offset class? Well, we do. Okay, but nobody else does. And so it's like the biggest, coolest thing that we're about to announce. And we're going to announce it at Drupal, the big print show in Germany. And the guys bring it in to me and they say, Jeff, this is what we're going to show. And you're going to pull the covers off and this is it. And it's this big gray box. $4 million gray box. I mean, it looks like something that Soviet shot putters have designed, okay? And I said to the team, you're not announcing that product. It's not the way that looks. And they go, well, it's like 2 months. I said, I don't care if it's 2 months, redesign it. You better hurry up and put something on it, change the color, do some other things. But you're not, you know, $4 million, highest quality, offset class machine, fastest machine in the world, clay-coated glossy stocks. This is what it does. I'm telling you guys, when it's sitting on the showroom, it should look like a Maserati or Ferrari. It should look like fire is coming out of its ass. I mean, those are the things it should look like. And I said, there's absolutely no way. So they went back to the drawing board. 2 weeks later, they came back and they, rounded off the corners, threw some white in there, yellow strip. It looked like something Czechoslovakians designed, but it got better. It got better. So it's about saying, hey, when we do these products, we're going to do it differently. We're going to stand for something in terms of our promise that's delivered to the customer. So when we come out with like the new ZI-8, which is an HD pocket video camera, retails $179, 1080p, 720, 5 megapixel still, image stabilization, 10 hours worth of video. Not bad, huh? Then we want to be able to have a great product that we can deliver. And so it's about the brand transformation, about changing the promise that we want to deliver to the customer so it's a little bit better than before. At the same time, we want to make our look and feel be different. Because again, like I said, you can't be cool and dress like Elmer Fudd. Now, the white page you see up there on the screen is our website of what it looked like a year ago. It's nice, it's attractive, it's what most companies would love to have. It's got the picture of the day up there with the young woman with the kite. It's got Donald Trump there with his hair, talking about pricey ink stinks. Okay? But it looks like a yard sale. That's what it looks like. And so we said we're going to do something different. We went to a black fade language, changed our packaging, and said we're going to make things look more iconic. In fact, our blog is called 1,000 Words because a picture stands for 1,000 words, right? If a picture stands for 1,000 words, why don't we use pictures as part of our iconic image? So we just happened to pick the week of the inauguration, and I went to the White House photographer and I said, give me 5 photos before anybody else sees them. And all week long, we featured 5 photos from the inauguration. And what you can't see is right above the president's head on the upper right-hand corner is a little button that says, tell me about this photo. And you click on it, and the photographer tells you in 1,000 words why he or she chose that photo at that given time. We drove an average of 117 million people to our site per day. We hadn't had 117 million people come to our site in a year because we started to say we're going to stand for something and do something a little different in terms of how we want. And in fact, we even have a blog for our community, our scientists, our technicians, where they talk about our material science and our imaging science, about what makes into that photo and why that became a great photo. By the way, that's called 1,000 Nerds on that particular blog. And then during the Oscar week or Cannes week, which is this week, you can actually go on our site and we take the cinematographers for the best pictures. And we say, give us one scene from each of the movies and tell us why you chose that one scene out of all scenes to represent that movie. Again, an iconic image representing a view of something that's different. So what we want to do is put a stake in the ground, just like we did on that press, just like we do in our products. And we're saying we're not going to release them or do them unless we have the right kinds of things that move forward. We move forward with, and we made a major change. 1896, we were the first sponsor of the modern-day Olympics. And we stopped sponsoring the Olympics at Beijing. Now, I'm sorry for you folks in Vancouver that we weren't there, but there's a reason for it. Remember what I told you our primary core audience of who we serve today is? Who? Business to business. And typically, the Olympic event's not a B2B event. Now, there's some B2B event going on and so forth. But if you're going to pay $50 or $100 million, and by the way, it's upwards of that range, to be one of the top 5 sponsors, because it's about $50 million, give or take. I'm not going to say what it is exactly, give or take. But then it's twice the money to activate on that money. How many cameras do you have to sell at $179 and make between 10 and 30% off of each camera to be able to afford $100 million? Anybody want to do the math? You can't. And so it said we had to move away from something different. So we created something a little bit different called the Kodak Challenge this last 2 years ago. With the thought process in mind, we said, by the way, who plays golf, just in general? Not, I don't mean like hands, that's good, thank you, we know who you are now. Business people, right? And what did I say our audience is? B2B. So I want to go, Sam Kinison once said, go to where the food is. Don't live in the desert, move to where the food is. And so I believe in that in terms of this. Let's go to where the people are, and let's go to a B2B event. And a B2B event happens to be this. They had 46 golf tournaments at the PGA Tour. We take 6 of the majors out, leaves us 40. Out of the 40, we said we won 24 holes. 24 different holes throughout the season, and we happened to pick one particular network over the other, so we got more TV play. The best 18 out of 24 holes wins $1 million. So that every time they walk up to that hole during that length of the entire season, they talk about the Kodak Challenge, the Kodak Challenge, the Kodak Challenge, the Kodak Challenge. Create a Kodak Challenge leaderboard. It's in the newspapers. They're reporting about the Kodak Challenge, who won the Kodak Challenge hole, so forth and so on. For 3 days, as they're up there putting on the hole, they're talking about, there he is at the Kodak Challenge, the Kodak Challenge. They do a preview of the hole before every single time the first player plays it. Make sense? Yeah, it's brilliant. I wish I had thought of it, but I took credit for it. So there we go. It's the same thing in marketing. Now,